Okay, so now we're going to look at the front kick or a push kick, and what the Thais call a teep. That's the Thai word for it. It's a push kick that comes directly through the middle and forwards. So starting point, as always, is going to be our stance. We always come back to this position. We're going to start with the lead teep, which is our front leg. Okay. With this, what we're going to do is we're going to lift and push, rather than it being a big step forwards and into it and swinging the leg. Thai boxers tend to use their teep a little bit like a boxer would use their jab. It's sharp and fast on the front leg. Bang! Keeps the fighter at a certain range. You can keep someone away with it. So I want you to think about your hip movement. Lift the knee, push forwards. You're using the bottom of the foot and getting a nice little push through and forwards with it. Excuse me. Hands nice and high. Here, we're protecting our heads at all times and coming back to our stance. When you get really flexible, you can go up a bit higher, but what we're aiming for here is really waist height or belly, okay? So, back leg. It's a lot stronger than your front one. Your front one is just your range finder, it's sharp and fast. Your back one is your powerful one. It comes through the middle, pushes, and then we come back to our stance. But again, it's about the hip extension. Pull the leg through. Keeping your hands up. You don't have to have your hands nice and close to your head. If you tend to do this when you throw the teep, what will happen is you'll overbalance yourself. And if you need to, like Michelle's doing here, you can drop that shoulder. Certain coaches will tell you that's not the best thing to do. But here, as long as your hands are rotating your head, okay, you're going to swing that leg through. Good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is work the teep on the pads, if you've got them, okay? Focus pads most likely is the pad that you're going to have. So what we would suggest, if you're using your front teep, you hold it a little bit out to the side of your body here. So when Michelle throws this teep, it's just hitting at that waist height there. If the person that you're working with is a little bit more flexible and they can get their leg high, you can work it higher, like that, but work at whatever height is comfortable. Make sure after every teep that you're correcting your stance, you're not ending up with your feet too close together, and your balance is good. Good. When you come to do the other leg, we would suggest you step this side and put the pad here. Good. Excellent. You can think of this almost like a target practice. Again, just like the knees, Michelle's tending to use this to work on her balance as well rather than power, which is great. Checking her footwork every time. Lovely. Now, if you don't have focus pads at home, you can use your hand if you wanted to, so you can still do this here, okay, if you're comfortable with touching someone's foot. However, other suggestions might be to use something that you have at home, like a cushion. For instance, you could hold, if you're using it as a target. Here, I'm going to pretend my hand's a cushion so Michelle can do that. And the same on the other side. Okay. Whatever you're doing is always about good technique rather than it being about power and how hard you can kick the pad. Okay, so just a nice little exercise for you to practice. It works if you've got maybe a mirror at home. Obviously don't stand too close to it because you're going to be kicking into the air. But if you're on your own and you need a nice way to try to work your teeps, make sure you're a safe distance away. If you haven't got a mirror, that's absolutely fine. Just shadow boxing it is fine. What we're going to do, just working on our balance, we're going to throw alternate teeps or teeps off the same side, but we're just going to keep that rhythm going all the time, correcting our stance every time. It's a good way to practice your balance, making sure your hands are up and your guard is good, and you're getting the hip thrust into it as well.